Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a video doing some overall predictions for the second half of The Walking Dead Season 4. So going to be talking about where I think we're going to go next, and then all the way through up until the end of the season, what I think we're going to see and where I think they're going to end it. Right, so people wanted to see some more predictions videos, so that's what I'm getting in the habit of doing, is trying to do some more and kind of give my thoughts on the overall next 8 episodes we'll see to finish off Season 4, where I think we're going to end it. Well, basically, I was able to find my my trade paperbacks, graphic novels for The Walking Dead, luckily, because I had it was a lot of trouble to find these. But anyway, I think we're going to mainly be focusing on this one here, which is Here We Remain, okay? Which will basically be the where we begin, episode 9, 10, that type of thing right here. And then, of course, what we become after that. Now, I think that this one here, number 11, so these are 9 and 10, and this one's 11, Fear of the Hunters. Now that I look at, all the different things that are included in these, I think there's enough material in just these two to last the rest of the season. The reason why I say that is because the first half of The Walking Dead Season 4, we spent 5 episodes, and they were entirely new episodes, basically, meaning that the storyline from them was not taken from the books at all. Zero, zilch, nada, none of it. The only part I would say is, and even the governor's part too, only Too Far Gone is really taken from the books. The rest is all completely new material. So I think in order for them to kind of keep the comic books going for longer in the show so they don't catch up, they're going to have to add on a lot more new content, new characters and new things happening while still sticking to the same story. So that's why I don't think, actually, now that I look at the books exactly, I don't think we're going to get to Fear of the Hunters. I think if we do, it'll be right at the end of the season. Like, we may see the Hunters appear at the very end of the season, close to it. I mean, 8 episodes, and they're not in one location. They're kind of all over the place in different there's a lot of story they can tell with the characters being separated and all over the place. So I think we'll see the Hunters late Season 4 or Season 5, maybe at the very end. They could do like a Michonne type thing from Season 2. If you guys remember, the very last episode, she appears, and then we get to find out who she is next season. This one, we could see something like that right at the end in the finale, but I do think they're going to expand upon the Hunters because I think they're very interesting characters, and I think they're villains that we could see for an entire season or half a season at least, and we're not even close to really there yet. So I think we're going to stick with these two is what they're going to do, and this is what we're going to be seeing. So to get into these for people that have never read these, to get into the first one, Here We Remain, basically, as you've seen from the previews for Season 4, it looks like essentially it's going to be Carl and Rick. They're going to be healing. They're going to be, spending probably a couple days recuperating, or at least a week recuperating after the attack from the governor, Rick's fight, the gunshot, all these things on their own. So Carl's going to have to defend himself. Also, I heard that on some websites when I was reading that Carl's going to have almost his entire own episode. So it sounds like episode 9 might be almost entirely Carl. We might not see almost anyone else. Now, here's an interesting one. The very first page of this trade is basically Tyrese's head, okay? And then at the end, you see the sword go through it. So after the governor cuts Tyrese's head off in the comic books, Michonne puts him down. Now, for that right there, I think we're going to see replaced, of course, with Tyrese. I think Michonne's going to double back, and she's going to put Hershel down because Hershel's head would still be there, and that would make for a great scene to start the second half. So I think we're going to see something like that. Have Michonne double back because she wasn't with Rick and Carl. She kind of came around and back. Maybe see her just put Hershel's head down. That'll be cool. That'll be difficult for them to do Hershel's head and effects and stuff, but I think they'll do that because that would be a great scene. He's a great character. So I think we're going to see something like that. And then, of course, Michonne will head on her way to try to find Rick and Carl. And the rest of episode 9, I think, is going to focus on basically Carl surviving by himself while Rick is passed out in a house. Basically, while Rick tells him not to go outside and is essentially in a coma. Right here is a good example. there's Rick, he's passed out, and Carl is saying, Dad, and he's really worried, and he's telling him to wake up. And then basically, Carl has to take care of himself, fend for himself, and that will be, I think, all of episode 9. Maybe, a few scenes of the other characters, like the one with Michonne, Beth, Glenn, some flashing over to the others and have some quick scenes with them. But I think that's going to be the meat and potatoes of that episode. There is some stuff with the phone in here, with Rick going crazy with the phone, which in the TV series, they have already covered that in season 3. So I don't know if maybe now he thinks Judith is dead, if he'll find a phone inside the house or something and kind of because of what happened with the governor, sort of fade back a little bit to that kind of craziness that he was in season 3. I could see something like that. And then in the comics, eventually Michonne does track and find and help Carl and Rick. So I think we'll probably see something like that within the next few episodes. And then I think they'll spend a good amount of time kind of traveling around trying to find each other and eventually end up back on the farm. I do, I'm kind of torn as to whether or not I think they will actually use that or they'll use a new location. Some people think that where Glenn wakes up in the teasers is the big spot. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's possible, but I tend to think it's not. I don't know. They're going to meet up somewhere, and we'll see a few episodes of that. And then we'll have to see Abraham, Eugene, and Rosita appear. And I'm thinking for them, at least, while they're moving around and they're deciding what they're going to do and how they're going to go to Washington, D.C., once Eugene kind of talks them into it, I think we're going to see a lot more new characters, and a lot of the episodes in the middle will be filled with them traveling around, getting to know Abraham, Eugene, Rosita, getting to know what they're about, getting some good action sequences with some different small splinter surviving groups of only a couple people, that they end up fighting off or end up, having some encounters with and kind of get to know each other. So because it's 8 episodes, I'm thinking episode 9 will be all Carl and Rick and finding out where the others are a little bit. Then the next episode 10, 11, 12, I think we're going to see them meet up. Abraham, Eugene, and Rosita be introduced, get to know them over the course of a few episodes, and then by that time we would only have like 4 or 5 episodes left, really. And in the comic books, they do actually hit the road, and they do actually stop in King County, which is where Rick and Carl, of course, used to live, their home, and they do run into Morgan. So maybe we could see an episode with Morgan in about something like maybe close to the second half of season 4, like episode 13, 14, 15, something like that. And then of course there's a good sequence here after where they get into it with a herd. So maybe we'll see something like that again with the car and a herd type scene. That'd be some fun to see that again, and just see the group kind of travel around to different spots to try to find their next location after the prison, and head to Washington, D.C., one of the two, find a home base for the part of it, and then meet up with Abraham, Eugene, Rosita, and head to Washington, D.C., because Eugene lies to them and convinces them he's a scientist and that he's going to cure this thing and that he's going to D.C. to do it, so they try to help him. At least that's the storyline in the comic books. Obviously, a TV series is going to be somewhat different, and then eventually, within the last few episodes, we may see the hunters appear, which I hope we do, but they may even leave that till season 5. I think they're really going to spread it out. I don't think they're going to blow through that much material that quickly, because again, they don't want to catch up to the books. I don't even think we're going to end up seeing, maybe we might not even see Gabriel, who's, I think it's Gabriel, who's the pastor. I think that's his name. Let's see, where's it at? I'll show you guys the page with him. This is where they kind of meet him here. Here's Andrea giving him a piece of her mind. So him, I don't know if he'll even appear this season, or if maybe that'll be near the end, that type of thing, and then that will be it for the season. They'll have to have something interesting for the season finale, maybe like a big herd type episode, maybe being tracked by a herd, like running away from a herd, or just the introduction start of the hunters. So anyway, that's kind of my overall, a view of what I think is going to happen, my overall predictions. If you've seen my other videos, you know how I feel about who's going to die when, deaths, and that kind of stuff. And that spoiler, which my other video was on yesterday, about a character in the comic book series that's still alive that's going to get killed in the TV show. So watch that if you guys are interested here, who I think is going to die when. But I don't think we're going to get to Alexandria's Safe Zone anytime soon. If we do, it'll probably be like mid-season 5, if that. And I think we're mostly going to be spending the rest of the season getting to know Abraham, Eugene, Rosita, moving around to different spots and heading to Washington, D.C., and then eventually encountering the Hunters right at the end or early season 5, one of the two, depending on how much they want to fill it out. So those are my overall predictions for where I think the second half of Season 4 is going to go. Let me know what you guys think. Do some predictions. If you got any spoiler information or rumors or whatever, feel free to write below. We can discuss. None of it's obviously, there isn't anything like official in terms of really leaked that I haven't already done a video on talking about in my channel. So go ahead and talk about whatever you want. Don't worry about spoilers in this video too much. Anybody who's a little shy about spoilers, just don't read the comments if you're worried about it. This is a predictions video. It's kind of spoilery anyway because some of it may be true and we're basing it off the comics, so a good portion of it probably will be. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. I'll call it here. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see you for the next one. This is Trev, and I'm saying peace.